Hey guys, it's LSSQ here with a video a long time in the making. So this is episode 2 of the Super Sketching series, and I actually did remake it in terms so that now it's actually a tutorial like series on how to draw video game characters and stuff. I'll like take you step by step instead of just the random drawing it was before. So you may be wondering, well, you already have a picture here, and yes I do. Because as you guys know, or you might not know, but the whole history of this series so far is that I did the Samus one, but that one was really long and pretty much boring. I actually did a second episode like that, and it was Marth, but I never aired it because it was really boring and I didn't actually like how it looked. And then one day, a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was only, I think it was only last week, I tried to do this type of thing, but I didn't have a picture like this in front of me, so I literally wasted. I must have. No, I spent like an hour and a half trying to do this type of tutorial thing, and I must have wasted like 30 sheets of paper. So, so now I'm doing it this way, so I don't waste time and a bunch of paper. Okay, so I'm gonna take you step by step on how to draw Metal Sonic. So there are a couple things about the series that I originally wanted to do. I thought, should I be adding color to these pictures and stuff? But then I figured, no, it's just a sketch. And being a sketch, this is just typically how I just draw Metal Sonic. I was just going through some of my old drawings and stuff, and there are certain sketches where I just like look at them and I think, wow, that really captures like my style and how I draw the character. So I found this one. I was actually looking for Shadow, but he was going to be this in this episode, but I couldn't find any off the top of my head, and I found Metal Sonic, so I thought we should do this. And then after I finish with this episode, I'll get into a bit of the videos that you guys are going to see this week, and maybe something that's going to come a little bit later, but we'll get into that after. Alright, so, Metal Sonic. So, as with all the Sonic characters, I always start with the ears, because I feel like that's just the quintessential starting point to any Sonic characters with the ears. So, since it's Metal Sonic, you gotta start, it's pretty much just a triangle and a triangle, and then you start to curve it over. So that's pretty simple. But now it's a bit harder because we have to make those little spikes in the back of his head and the top. So, curving it over, and then bring it down. So it's like a crescent moon, kinda. And then bring it back. So it looks like that. And, because this is right here, I guess we'll take care of this now. He's at a side angle, and the way that I drew this, his third little spike thing is in the back, so you can still see it. So we have to do that, put that right in the middle, so that, see the depth going on. And we can color that in because there will be some things that are, I mean, it's just going to be black and white Sharpie, but there are some things on this that I'm going to shade in to add better depth to it. Okay, so that's primarily the back of his head and his spikes. I'm going to go with the other ear now so we can get the ears out of the way before I start moving on to the face, because the face leads to the body. So the other ear is pretty much, you could probably use this point as a line of reference. It should be kind of like diagonal to that is where you should start this ear. And it's just basic triangle and triangle. Pretty easy. But now is a little bit more challenging. When I draw Metal Sonic, I think the eyes is really what captures Metal Sonic, whereas you could say this, or when I draw Shadow, the spikes really capture Shadow, the eyes really capture Metal Sonic. So I always draw the eyes in a distinct way. I start at the top, like typically right at the top of his right eyepiece, and I bring it down to connect to the other part of his head. And then from there, I draw a line down from the right and drag it over so it makes this like little hot dog bun-shaped thing, and then connect it from the other side. That's pretty much how I do the eyes, and I think that works out really well, because then you already have the starting shape for the hot dog thing, which again, you could start it right at the bottom of the right part of the eye, bring it over to the left. That's pretty much the best way I can do it. And you kind of have to eyeball the fact that, you know, how wide do you want it out and stuff. In this original sketch, I think it was a bit wider than I wanted it to, so I just shortened it up a bit here. And then, of course, circle 2 lines for his little bolt thing in his face. I'm just going to put some shines on there. Again, if you were coloring, that would look a lot better, but it's just Sharpie, so. The eyes are pretty much... They're pretty much like circles, but they're not all the way. Starting from this top line here, that is pretty much all it is. I don't know how to explain that shape, but 2 of those, and then another one on the other side. And then as we color this in, which I'll do now because Metal Sonic's eyes are black, you can see that they start to come out. And I'm not going to completely color this in 100% black right now, like his eyes and stuff. I just need to do this rather quickly, so it's not too terribly long of a video. And then I always put little lines in Metal Sonic's eyes, because he's a robot, so his eyes, you know, they got those, like, robot line things, and so with the I don't know, the side of the Sharpie, or a pen, whatever you're using, I just often do that. So you can still see, like, maybe you can't see that, I'll zoom in a bit. See how there are, like, really faint lines there? I often do that for my Metal Sonics, because it just adds more to the character. Okay, now the nose. I typically see now a lot of people when they look at my art and stuff, they say, well, the nose should be like right in the center of the face. But when I draw Sonic characters, most of the time and every time it's like to the side. I know that kind of might look weird, but that's how I've always done it. So I always draw it to the side, and then he has like a little like line or something in it there, like that. Yay, Metal Sonic's face is done. Now we'll move on to the arms, because his arm is kind of overlapping the head a little bit at the bottom, so we'll do that next, which is pretty much just kind of a, I don't know what shape you'd call that, but, yeah, I really don't know what shape. It's kind of like a diamond with a curved top, and you could just add some fancy shading to that, make it look a bit shiny. Now Sonic has like noodly arms, but Metal Sonic has very like distinct like blocky arms. I want to say not really blocky, but they're like firm, and they don't bend with a lot of like ease. So 2 straight lines down create the top of the arm, and then he has that huge like blue piece at the bottom, which just goes straight down from there to create the bottom of the arm. And now the hand is connected with a little piece of metal, I guess, on him. That's what it actually is. You could just add some dots there just to look cool. Followed up by a square. And then you split that square in half and color half of it black, because he has like the yellow things on his hands. For his fingers, you gotta be kind of delicate with it, because they're really skinny. And then I always add the little like joint lines in them, because like he bends them, like, you know, like like robots doing stuff. I mean, they got that little distinct bend line in them. And then what I always end up doing is kind of just adding some, you know, to make it look fancy. Alright, so that's his head and first arm. I'm going to work from the back now. So right here is where his right spike is, and I'm just going to pretty much draw a line down there. And then loop it over, because this creates the back. He does have a spike in his back, so I'm going to draw that in his back spike. And this picture happens to have flames coming out of his back, so I'm going to kind of just sketch that, because I don't want it to look like shiny like we've been doing with the, you know, the shine. So I'm just going to like make it look a bit messy, like, you know, like fire. Alright, it's pretty good right there. Work for the front of the body now. pretty much just drawing a circle, because that's the body. And then that'll naturally connect because it'll be blocked by the arm. So that's kind of it for the outline of the body. On the inside, though, here's the tricky part. Some of you might find it tricky, and that's the his inside chest circle. So the best way to do this is, like, when you're looking at a circular anything from the side, you always notice it has that kind of like indentation to it. So draw like a half a circle, but then don't draw the other half of the circle right on the outside or connecting directly. You want to draw it slightly on the inside. So go a couple millimeters in and then draw it, and that gives it depth. And then you can add the black, because he has that little like black circle on the inside, and depth lines. See? That's how you make his inside, or that's how I make his inside anyway. I'll go into the other arm now, which is pretty much the same thing as this arm, except for this it's going to be a bit easier because it's being blocked by his leg. So all you have to do is pretty much make another one of these things, and then you can color it in if you want to. And another line down. Haha, there's his arm. And like I said, we're not going to add that because it's being blocked by his leg, so we'll do his leg now. This part of his leg is, in this picture, here, I'll just outline this so you can see it. That's the equivalent of this part of the arm, because his legs are like the same as the arm. You know, now that I look at this, this is his leg. And his arm, actually, you actually can see that blue part here. I just couldn't pick it out because this scan is really light because I didn't want it to be too dark. But, alright. So I guess you just watched me do that. But he does have that blue thing there. And you can, I'm going to add some shade in there so you can see it. Yeah, there you go. Alright. And then his leg starts there, and that's where his arm is. So same thing for this hand as the other one. Except it's going to be a bit easier because you can just color in the whole square, and the fingers aren't bent at all, so they're you're pretty much drawing like really distorted cone shapes, like that. And now, yeah, I'll continue with this leg again, whatever shape that is, just bringing it down, curving it over, and just fun shade lines. The bolt in his shoes, I guess. So now Metal Sonic shoes have like two parts of them, whereas like Sonic's and Shadow's are pretty much just one piece, but Metal Sonic has a back and a front. So I always draw the back, draw some random mechanical looking things in the front, and then make the front of the shoe a bit longer and a bit more separated from the back. And now moving on to the last leg is that shape again with the awesome shading lines. And because you're looking at this from the front, this one bolt is like from that side, and now you're gonna see two bolts from the front. Let me just move this camera down a little bit. Alright. Curving that over, making sure you can I put another line in there because, as I did here, the part on top is like the red part of his shoe, and then this part would be like the metal that you'd see, like the gray underneath. You know, it's one of those depth things. So essentially, this is how I sketch Metal Sonic when I'm not going off of any artwork, just for the fun of sketching Metal Sonic. Let me add my signature. Alright, so thanks for watching this episode 2 of the Super Sketching series. I like it this way a lot better, where I'm actually narrating and I can focus on exactly what I'm doing. And I feel like this is a better tutorial type series, and I'm glad it worked out. So now if you guys want to stick around and oh, before I start talking about my other videos, though, if anybody actually tried this, as I say with the clay tutorials, let me know how it comes out. Let me know, if you could see it, well enough. If you needed, more zoomed in at certain points on it or whatever. Just, give me some feedback so I can improve this series, because I actually like doing that a lot. I felt like Steve from Blue's Clues. I'm sorry, I just had like a nostalgia flash from like my childhood. When I'm like, go around like that, and there, that's Metal Sonic. Yeah. Anyway, so about my videos. As I said, I'm going to... I know that when I usually talk about my videos, it's like, in 3 months you're going to see. No, but this week I'm actually going to be putting a couple on. Toward the beginning of the week, you will definitely be getting a chalk video, because it's about that time of year. So I'm gonna do my unofficial start, because I always do a warm-up, like I think I said a couple of videos ago, maybe I didn't. So you're gonna get a chalk video, and toward the end of the week, I'm going to do a type of collection thing, and I know I've been complaining about like completely making my channel revolve around art, but I think I came off wrong on that, and I just mean that I want my channel to kind of reflect me and not just be like random rant videos about Cartoon Network and like stupid things like that. So when I do collection videos and stuff, even though it's not art, it's still about me, so I naturally want to promote it in my channel toward the end of the week. And also, I might be putting in, I'm not going to really reveal this yet in case I actually don't put it on, but I'm thinking about putting it on. You guys might see some other, I'm going to say, backstage videos that you guys, I don't think, are expecting or anything. But we'll get more into that if I actually end up putting them on. But just throwing that mysterious video out there. Okay, guys, so thanks for watching. I kind of rambled on long enough. But, yeah, as always, I'll Supersonic you until the next video. Finn.